Ladies and gentlemen, our first player spawning at the bottom right. He's our blue Terran player, playing for Shopify Rebellion. Give it up for Byun.
And we have the red Protoss spawning in the top left corner of the map. It is Alpha X's very own Zoun.
Alright, so being as this is the Alpha X Christmas / New Year's tournament, and we are pretty much officially, at least here in the States, under 1 day away from New Year. TeaDragon, what would you personally like to see in the year 2022? Whether it's StarCraft related or just personal life related?
Oh, that is a really good question. Obviously, I want a lot of things, but you know, it's funny because this academic year started, and you know, I had a lot of goals for myself. One of them, you know, being able to sort of plan things out, just very broadly, right? And I've been following through on those plans pretty well. So it's kind of like my New Year's resolution came, you know, 2 months early, something like that. So I don't really have anything, you know, too specific for the New Year's. What about you?
You know, I think something good is going to happen in terms of the StarCraft scene that I would like to see, which is pretty much in-person live events. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the IEM Katowice is going to be with a live audience. It's going to be a LAN event. So this is going to be the first, I believe, the first major premier StarCraft 2 tournament with live events. And so it's been a while since we actually had live audience. So I am looking forward to that very much.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds really, really exciting, man. I still have not gone to a premiere event myself, but I plan to one day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I haven't gone as well, but I'm sure it's pretty exciting to go there in person.
Oh yeah, definitely. Speaking of exciting, looks like Zoun is going to open up a little bit spicier than usual with a proxy Stargate down to the bottom left.
Yeah, and Byun also playing a little bit spicy as he's throwing down a very quick dirt command center down at the left side of his base. So yeah, it looks like both guys are kind of doing some little bit of some tricky play, and trying to kind of gain some advantage from that. But I think it does, in terms of like blind build orders, I feel like Zoun is gonna have the upper hand, because what anti-air is Byun gonna have? He's gonna have maybe 4 or so, or 6. Oh, a little bit of a
lag
pause. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah, it all comes down to the Marine positioning, I think, for Byun. If they're all, you know, he might have like 4 to 6 to 8, whatever the number is, and they're on the low ground, that Oracle is going to come into the main uncontested. And of course, since there is a 3 racks opening for Byun, he is not going to have things like Cyclones and Vikings out on the field ready to defend against this Oracle.
Yep, and so we'll see if those Marines will be able to position themselves in the correct area. So far, so good, as they are parked into the main base. Looks like that's where the Oracle is headed. The hello Oracle, meet the Marines. Hello Marines, meet the Oracle.
Yeah, I wonder what the number of Marines is that the Oracle can actually just gun down on its own, because, of course, with their laser beams, they can do a lot of damage very quickly.
Yeah, I believe the number is 5 Marines, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe someone in the live chat can correct me, but I think it takes 5 Marines to take down an Oracle.
You know, all in all, considering this was a proxy Stargate, I'd say Byun handled it pretty well. And it looks like he's going to be following up with a +1 attack stim timing, possibly?
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, But as I say that, he does have the dirt command center, so I think maybe these Marines are just there for defensive purposes. Because if he was to be attacked by Blink Stalkers, then that could be troublesome, and that's exactly what it looks like Zoun is doing going for, because he is researching Blink
Oh.
as well as placing a proxy gateway. I mean, this Oracle will provide the high ground vision that he needs to blink up, and it'll be up to Byun to make sure he has his Marine in place. He will have Stem, as Stem has finished. So Zoun, he's got to be careful not to blink incorrectly and get caught off by those Marines.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top. Is Zoun going to be able to burn through all of those Marines, or are the Marines just going to overwhelm the Stalkers? Because there is definitely going to be that critical mass that Byun is trying to approach, where the number of Stalkers is just not able to keep up with the amount of bio.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Zoun actually gonna go ahead and forego the blink attack. He's not actually making any more stalkers, and I think he realizes that he can't really break Byun with any more stalkers. So what he's smartly doing is starting to transition to the next phase, where he mixes in Charge Lot and High Templars with Storm.
Yeah, I like this move a lot. Recognizing, hey, that is way too many Marines and Marauders for me to actually do anything. A nice stasis trap that I didn't actually notice until now. Looks like they are going to blink back a little bit, force a stim out, and that third command center is finally going to be able to land. So a pretty decent delay out of Zoun, but overall, he's going to need that charge. He's going to need that higher tech to be able to deal with all of that bio that's coming across the map right now.
Oh boy, actually, you know what? If Zoun can kind of force Byun back and maybe even do a surround with these charge lots, that could actually be pretty sweet. But instead, it looks like Zoun might actually need to force a recall, as there is a drop into his main base and there's absolutely nothing here to defend.
Oh, look at that. The probes in the main mineral line are actually going to be pulled off, and they're going to try to engage. Recall finally is forced, but by this point, virtually all of the probes have gone down in the main. Now, the charge lots out on the map are going to force back the rest of the bio, but this is definitely not a good quote-unquote trade, right? Zoun lost an entire base worth of probes. And on the other hand, Byun's mining time is a little bit delayed, but overall, Byun's supply is ahead, Byun's economy is better. Things are not looking too good for Zoun.
Yeah, things are certainly not looking too hot for our red Protoss, as he is going to go ahead and try to break, but again, this is a better reinforcement point for Byun. His army is a bit better with the +1 upgrade, and with the Stalkers being pulled, or sorry, not the Stalkers, the SCVs being pulled, he should be able to defend against this. In fact, Byun can pretty much afford to sacrifice like 10 to 15 SCVs if he wanted to, as he is ahead in the worker count. Just needs to do a bit of kiting and he should be fine.
Yeah, well, that is a lot of SCVs that are going down, so the worker count is finally kind of being sort of evened up. Now, actually, the third command center is going to be forced to lift off. So this is definitely one way for Zoun to be able to come back. The supply is actually coming back as well, so if there is a win condition for Zoun, this is definitely it. All of the SCVs are being evacuated, and now even the natural is under fire. So Zoun is definitely trying to, just go all the way, see whatever damage he can do. I like this move a lot, but I'm not sure if it's enough.
It's kind of the tipping point. I mean, the thing that worries me is that Zoun has mainly Zealot and Stalkers, but if he can kind of snowball this, he might actually be able to clean up the rest of Byun, because Byun, his army production buildings are right now on top, or being ravaged by the Protoss army, so you can kind of pick off the units popping out. However, how much steam does Zoun still has left in his arsenal Right now, he has a bunch of Stalkers and 2 Archons, but not a lot of Charge Lots. Okay, there we go. More Warpins of Charge Lot. Oh man, this is going to be so close.
Yeah, already, you know, props to Zoun for being able to make this a game. Earlier, he was down something like 20 workers or something crazy like that. Now, not only has he evened up the worker count, he's evened up the supply. More Charge Lots are streaming in. More SCVs are going down as well. So, look at that. 55 probes against 36 SCVs. This is looking more like a standard Protoss versus Protoss versus Terran. But like you said, I think that was the point where Zoun just sort of ran out of steam. Looks like he is going to go back for yet another push, actually, with a sentry as well. But the Marauders on the high ground, as well as the Widowmine, are going to make sure that, you know, nothing like the earlier push is going to repeat itself.
Yeah, I would love to see Zoun not just overcommit, because he has done enough damage. I mean, he is way ahead in terms of the worker count. All you need to do is reap the benefits of that by mining more than Byun. Byun had to force his 3rd CC off back into his main, so right now, Byun, he's pretty much mining off of, let's see here. Yeah, pretty much maybe half a base, as the mineral patches for the main base and the natural of Byun is pretty much mined out, so right now, Zoun, he can pretty much sit back, get that crucial Storm Tech, mass up enough High Templars, and I think he can go for the win. However, it looks like Byun being Byun, as he is going to go ahead and try to harass, and that's exactly what he needs. Byun, right now, he's on the back foot at this point, so he needs to start kind of doing some harassment here and there, and because if you just sit back right now and let Zoun mass up that Storm, with all those High Templars with energy, then it's going to become an ugly fight. There's no Ghost here. Only the Ghost Academy being thrown down right now.
Ooh, some excellent Widowmine shots. That High Templar is so vulnerable. One of them is going to get a pretty decent Storm, but Byun immediately splits off. Looks like the majority of the Charge Lots have been shaved off, and the Archon is going to have to retreat, and now Byun finally sees, wait, there's been a proxy gateway here this whole time.
And oh my goodness.
Oh, wow. GG is called. Byun is going to take this game. What a lopsided victory, right? Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Zoun was playing so well, so well. He was evening up the worker count. He was shaving off a lot of that bio and making sure that he could stay in the game. He actually made it a very fair fight. A very fair game after he was able to not only lift off the 3rd command center of his opponent, but also kill something like 20-25 workers. And then after that, that last engagement just was not it. And, you know, Byun just had too much bio, and that was it.
Yeah, and you know what? It's games like that where it feels like Byun plays at his best, where when he's the one that is down instead of ahead. A lot of times in the past, there were certain games where it seems like Byun was dead in the waters, but with Michael Jackson in his pocket, and you know, using it as a Super Saiyan mode, he manages to turn the series around, or at least the game around. And again, the micro of Byun being able to hit all the High Templars and the Charge Lot with the Widow Mines, and then with some kiting with his bow, able to take the game in the end. And yeah, that's like almost like a typical Byun game there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now this Reaper is going to get up onto the high ground. It will get pushed back by the Adept. I don't think it saw the Stargate, did it? No, it didn't. Okay, so Byun does not yet have confirmation on what kind of tech his opponent is going for.
Yep, so he's pretty much in the dark. However, there are 2 watchtowers on this map, so if you can kind of send the Reapers to each of the watchtower, he might be able to catch one of them. But of course, this is a huge map, so even if you take the watchtower, it's still not enough. You still need some spotters in the dark areas.
Oh yeah, definitely. And especially with air units, they tend to go to the corners of the map, they go to the edges of the map. And that the purpose of that is to, you know, avoid watchtowers, avoid things like that. Now, these Reapers are actually going to get surrounded for just a little bit, so one of them is going to be very low on health. So far, they are going to take down 3 probes as well as get a scout off, and see that it will be an Oracle first. Hellion, cheekily enough, does come onto the low ground, trying to pick off whatever it can. Is it actually going to get another kill? I don't think so, is it? Oh, it actually just barely does. So in total, 2 Reapers and 1 Hellion for 5 probes. Would you say that's worth it, Snoopy?
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, first of all, Hellions are mineral units. Reapers are pretty cheap. Reapers are mainly for scouting purposes. Yeah, they can harass a little bit, but he got the scout on the Stargate. He got 5 probes. I think Byun should be very happy with where he is at, and it's just looking like he might actually go ahead and extend his lead to 2-0 if Zoun doesn't somehow make things like that count. Oh man, he's losing. He's losing.
Oh, there were so many little micro tricks in the last 30 seconds. First, the Oracle came in, tried to do some damage, saw the Widowmine, backed out, and then an SCV repaired the Widowmine because of the damage that it took from the now dead Oracle. Then the 3 Adepts completed their shade last minute because they thought that they could get through the supply depot wall. And then another trick was that one of the Adepts tried to drag a Widowmine shot onto the Viking, and I think it was kind of successful. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think the Viking actually took damage from the Widowmine. And then the last trick, when it was down to just the low health Viking and the Adept, the Viking baited out one last shot before lifting off and let the Marines clean up that last Adept. I'm so amazed by the micro of these 2 players. Just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, indeed. These guys are just absolutely incredible with their micro and mechanics. However, in the end, Byun seems to have the edge. He has had the more favorable trades, and you can see that reflected in the resources lost tab, as Zoun has pretty much lost almost twice the amount of Byun thus far.
Yeah, definitely. Zoun's only real saving grace is that his economy is, you know, maybe not better, but it will be pretty soon, given that he has a 3rd Nexus coming up. We're going to have a little bit of a pause. Looks like Zoun is having some lag. I think the servers might be having an issue today.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And you would imagine that after a decade-year-old game that they would have figured out all these server problems, but
yeah, definitely. But yeah, it looks like that wasn't the case for the holiday season. I'm just praying that that doesn't repeat itself, you know? Hopefully the servers, they last us just a little bit longer.
Yeah. I mean, thus far, it has been pretty stable. I'm actually surprised that it has gone as well as it has, because for us, or at least for me, connecting to the Korea server, there are some times where there are lags on my end, and I have to like restart. Usually I'm good with NA and EU, but because I live in the US East and being so far away from Korea, I think there are times where I do experience some lag. So
Right.
luckily thus far with this tournament, we haven't had any of that, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, definitely. Viking is going to land, take out a probe, but Stalkers are already in place. Those Stalkers were actually rallied towards the main force out in the middle of the map, but it just so happened that the timing of the Viking was pretty bad since the Stalkers were right there, available to defend. And I believe they already have Blink, right? So it's going to be onto Zoun to hold off just until he finishes charge, and then the charge lots are going to give him a lot more staying power against this Bioforce. But for now, this is a pretty scary push, right? Stim is about to finish, +1 attack is about to finish, concussive shells is coming up, so this is a little bit of a threat coming out of Byun.
Yeah, this is quite a scary army. Actually, he's ahead by almost 30 army supply, which is not a great thing, especially since all his units are in gateway units. And oh boy, this Shield battery is going to have to be pretty much a saving grace right now, as this army is just going to absolutely stim right on top of this blue Protoss force. Going to go ahead and probably even snipe out that shield battery, but maybe not, because the of course the cooldown has run out.
Right. Charge does finally finish, but I really think it's too little too late. Looks like Byun is just going to be able to stim to win. That's right.
Now you can make a debate whether he is spawning at the top right or in the middle of the bottom area, because he is right now building 2 proxy gateways with a forge.
Oh, this is about as all in as you can get. We're about to see some sort of zealot like cannon rush type of thing. Is that what this is?
I don't know, but it feels like a belated Christmas gift for us. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Because, yeah, this is... You don't normally see this. Man, this is like something Parting would do or something.
Yeah, this really is. Oh, I know. Okay, so he's probably going to put cannons and shield batteries on the low ground. And then the follow-up is going to be with stalkers, I want to say. And then the stalkers are going to try to slow push up the ramp and whatnot. But the 2 gases have not yet been taken, and a second probe is coming across. So we are definitely about to see some cannons. Yep, there we go. Cannons are going down. A bunch of SCVs are pulled off the line. The pylon does actually get the block on the wall, forcing the supply depot to be lowered. That probe is quite a nuisance. Look at that.
Oh my god, if he can make a pylon to the high ground, yes, he does it. That provides him the high ground vision. And oh, actually, no, wall off. These zealots should get through in. Oh no, too late.
Oh, yeah, I think it's because they were in a position to block the reactor, maybe, from the barracks. But yeah, in any case, the zealots are in. It's a disaster for Byun. There are SCVs, not a disaster just yet, but I mean, this is going to be very difficult to hold. We see the first zealot does go down, trading out for 3 SCVs. Of course, that Reaper is going to be a crucial unit, as well as the 2 Marines. Barracks does lift off and relocate to another location for the time being. The factory is finished, but look at that. Byun is in a little bit of a supply block, so this is not really looking too good. Another zealot does finally go down, but it is trading out 4 SCVs, which of course is always a good trade. But yeah, this is... What a wild opener from Zoun. What a wild cheese. I love this.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Zoun has not actually sent out another probe, which meant that this push has actually been shut down. I mean, if he actually had a probe here to throw down additional cannons while these zealots hack away, I mean, we might actually see Byun's base like just absolutely covered in cannons. But instead, it looks like Byun is going to start stabilizing, and if that is the case, then that is going to be troublesome for Zoun. He has yet to throw down his cybernetic core, and he doesn't even have a probe there to even throw down the cybernetic core. So this is pretty much GG. Yeah, Zoun is going to tap out. Byun, he's going to the finals with a 3-0 victory.
What a series. Absolutely amazing.